Well, part of me feels really hopeful about a new relationship with my mom. And then another part of me, maybe these are opposite ends of the stick here.
Well, you're off topic. You've forgotten the work we're doing here. Part of me thinks this and part of me thinks that. And we say, what part of you puts you in a good mood? That's the only part of you we want to talk about. Part of me worries, and part of me's happy, and part of me's rich, and part of me's fat, and part of me's skinny, and part of me's hungry, and part of me's fed, and part of me's worried, and part of me's satisfied, and part of me's bored, and part of me's overwhelmed, and part of me... Come on. What part do you want to be active right now? Focus it into being right now where all of your power is.
Well, I do feel good when I think about being on the higher end of the emotional guidance scale.
That's because you changed the subject. That's good.
Well, but even when I feel good on the higher end of the scale, and I feel like I'm really in tune with myself, I'm following my passions, I'm excited about what I'm doing, yada, yada.
We're listening. We want to hear the end of this story.
And then when I think about my mom, I go, yeah.
No, but you see, those can't go together. You're telling yourself and all the rest of us a lie. You're claiming to be in a mood that attracted something that doesn't feel good, and that's not possible. The mood equals the thought that comes.
So if I'm feeling good and then the thought I have about my mom, which is different than judging her or whatever, feeling distasteful.
Well, see, it's like this. So let's say you've had a really good day and you've had fun with a friend and you've had lots of good insights and you're feeling really good and you got a good night's sleep and it's a glorious weather outside and you're just feeling really good. And then in the midst of that, your mother zooms in a text or an email or a phone call or something. We can acknowledge how that abrupt changing of the subject based upon the momentum that you have in this relationship could give you a sort of startled experience that you weren't ready for, and your mood could change suddenly. But when you're talking about feeling happy in your day and happy in your mind, and then thoughts come to you that make you unhappy, that's when we're saying you were asking for those thoughts with the thoughts that generated the mood. We appreciate you so much that you are willing to stay with us on this. You just have to take ownership of your mood. For a long time, we've said to you that you think a thought, and then as you think that thought, you can feel how that thought's going down with the thought that your inner being's having about the same thing. So the thought comes first, and then the emotion comes next. But they happen so simultaneously. So now what we're giving you is a tool that if you will not try to analyze the thought, how it came, why it came, how long you felt that way, whose fault it is that you feel that way, and instead you just accept the near simultaneous mood that happens, and then you just ask yourself, is this a good mood or a bad mood? Is this a mood worth nurturing? Do I want to try to get to the bottom of this? Do I want to keep perpetuating this mood? Which doesn't just affect you with your mother, it affects you with a whole lot of other things. How many people remind you of your mother? A lot of people remind you of your mother. A lot of people remind you of the things that you've been harping on, you see.
I think one question...
Does that make sense?
It did for me, yeah, thanks. I think one question I have is the feeling I get when I think about my mom, not when she's texting me or whatever, that's usually frustration, but when it's spontaneous and coming from within that I own, is actually...
Wait. Thoughts that feel bad when they get there do not come from within. They come from out there in the peanut gallery. We're referring to within your inner being. We're referring to within in the vortex. We're referring to within being your vibrational reality. And when a thought like that comes to you, you were not in sync with that. You were in sync with something else. But you've been kidding yourself because you haven't been selfish enough to insist that you feel good. You know, that's what's at the heart of all of this. We're going to give you something that's going to be resonant with so many of you in this room right here, right now. There's rarely, it's possible, but there's rarely a person in anyone's life that is more tied to them than their mother, really. What your mother thinks about you has what feels like very deep strings or roots. And so you've been thinking lots of thoughts about your mother for a long time and feeling lots of emotions, but not putting it together that you had a choice about your thoughts, thinking that the thoughts that came to you and the feelings that came with them were a result of something that you couldn't control. It's like something that someone was asserting into your experience. Like, we get how it feels like your parents have asserted themselves into your experience because you just showed up and they were there and they thought they were the boss of you. And so we get how it gets off on that foot, but it isn't that way. Let's start again. When you are giving someone else credit for the way you feel, that didn't just start in this moment. You've been doing it for a long time. Even if you've been doing it because in the beginning they demanded it, you've still been doing it for a long time. And no matter where you got the impulse, whether society taught it to you, or whether your mother taught it to you, or whether a demanding boyfriend taught it to you, it doesn't matter where you got the habit. You've got the habit of harboring a thought that doesn't feel good. And that's the subject of right now. And all the other subjects are irrelevant and much less important than that. That's the only subject that matters. Why is this the only subject that matters? Because how you feel is your point of attraction. And your mother is in the field from which you are attracting. And so how you feel is attracting what you're getting from your mother, what you're getting from your government, what you're getting from your friend, what you're getting from the driver that's driving you. Everything that comes to you is coming in response to the frequency that you are emitting. And so if you let someone who's been a real bugger to put up with and live with be the one that you think about the most, and so that's the person that predominantly sets your tone or your point of attraction, then we're sure you've got a lot of beefs with a lot of people. It just has to be that way. You don't feel like you're in control. It feels like what happened or that somebody else is in control. And the reason that we're going on and on and on and on about it with person after person is because when you finally accept, or just try to accept, that what you're thinking about your mother or anyone else is coming to you because of the mood that already existed before you received the first thought. So we'll get it. We'll go along with you that it's possible that you were doing what so many people are doing. You were oblivious to how you were feeling. So a thought came and you don't connect the dots. You don't say, oh, that thought came in that way because I was feeling this. Instead, you just go with the thought. And so then the law of attraction gets bigger and bigger. And now it brings in a whole bunch of other things. So it gets confusing. It gets confusing about which of the variety of things that are a vibrational match to that are the reason that you feel this way. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I'm ornery because of my mother, or I'm ornery because my husband died, or I'm ornery because my knee hurts, or I'm ornery because I've got a toothache, or I'm ornery because I couldn't get the seat I wanted. It doesn't matter why you're ornery. All that matters is that you are ornery, and it will show up to you by the path of least resistance. All that matters is that you are happy, and it will show up to you by the path of least resistance. If we could convince you that controlling your mood will change your life, and it will start fast. Controlling your mood will change your receiving of thoughts, your rendezvousing with who you're rendezvousing with, the timing of things. It changes everything. But until you mean, I have the wherewithal to not feel this way right now because I don't have to think this thought that just came. Because I know why I'm thinking it. I know why I'm thinking it. I'm thinking it because you've heard the expression, get up out of bed and get off on the wrong foot. That's what that's talking about. You got off on the wrong foot, and then the law of attraction just delivered more and more and more and more and more and more and more.
So instead of orienting to, I think the way I've been thinking about it is how can I shift this relationship dynamic? Because it sucks. I don't enjoy this.
Well, that's what we were talking about earlier. That's trying to fix a problem that is fixable, but not that way. Does the expression you can't get there from here? Can't get there from here.
So instead of doing that, just think, I don't have to think about my mom at all right now. I can just go be happy.
Yeah, and in time, you will be able to do that. That is exactly what we wanted you to come to. I don't have to think about this right now. But now let's bring it home. I don't have to think about this right now because I don't want to. I don't want to think about this because I don't want to. And the reason I don't want to is because it feels sucky when I think about it. So I don't want to think about this. Now others will say, well, you should think about the things that bother you because if you're not for it, you're against it. But they don't know what they're talking about. They don't understand that the way you feel is your point of attraction and that you have control over the way you feel. And when you start practicing it, see, this was so nice because we're really mean to you. We wouldn't let you get away with anything. And because we wouldn't let you get away with anything, you stayed focused on the work that matters. Because it's so easy to just get off on all kinds of tangents. Well, when I was little, we got along better, but then when we got older, not so much. And as you even try to explain any of it, you just get locked more into what you do not want.
Well, one thing I've felt with my mom in particular, but other people as well, is that I'm so excited about who I'm becoming, this unfolding that we've been talking about today. And I feel like grief, like sadness that she's missing out on that because she can't meet me there, or feels like she can't meet me there. She can't stay up to speed with who I'm becoming, and so I feel like I have to leave her behind. And I feel sad.
So we're going to ask you a really strong question. After 3 hours of talking about nothing other than looking for thoughts that feel good, why in the last damn minute of the whole broadcast would you choose the suckiest thought that you could think of and present it to us?
Well, I'm asking for help, I think, in 1 minute.
No,
Sorry.
that wasn't asking for help. It's a habit. It's that thing that we keep talking about. It's that here I am and I keep feeling the need to explain why I'm here. And we can't make you believe this, but you don't have to explain why you're here. You just have to say, I don't like being here. I'm going to choose to be somewhere else. But somehow people have convinced you that you made your bed, lie in it. Or it must have been karma. You were probably really bad to your mother in a past life, so you got a really bad mother to get even with you in this life. Death jokes again. But we've asked almost everyone when they sat down, or a few, before you sat down, what did you gather and where do you want to go now? And so we're going to ask you, what's your takeaway from this 3-hour conversation that was pretty much on the same subject? What's your takeaway? It's not my mother's fault. It's my fault, what I choose to think. It's not my mother's fault. Well, now that didn't get you anywhere because now you're blaming it on you. It's my fault. It's my fault. Oh, I should have done things differently. And what a waste it is that we've had all this time together. And I feel regret. That's the suckiest emotion that anybody could ever experience. Where what we're suggesting instead is that you give up, start again. This is really, 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 really good. When do you... We're asking all of you from your personal experience, when have you noticed about yourself that you're most willing to give something up, to finally give it up? Isn't it when you finally get it that you can't fix it? You might as well just give it up because you're getting nowhere. You're just getting nowhere. Isn't that right? Think about some things that you've given up. Didn't you just give it up because it just felt to you in this moment was just impossible? Oh, never mind. I'm just going to give it up. Well, you didn't give up your desire. What you're giving up is your resistance. And that's what we've been talking about all day here today, is that it's time to give up the futility of trying to make things happen through fixing a problem when law of attraction won't let you fix a problem. Law of attraction will only let you make the problem bigger. Law of attraction won't help you fix a problem. Law of attraction will only attract more problems like it to you until finally you get it, that this feeling and these problems all go together. Law of attraction won't help you fix a problem until you finally get, Esther's friend has said to her, my mother used to say, well, are you finally sick and tired of being sick and tired? Have you finally had enough of the unpleasantness of what you've been doing to give it up? And that's really the question that we're asking you here. And it's really on this end of the stick. Aren't you sick and tired of being sick and tired? And what's the other end of that stick? Yeah, I want to feel good. And I don't want to need to expect any particular behavior from anybody else because that is futile. You might scare somebody. You might blame somebody enough. You might threaten them enough or bribe them enough to get them to be different. But the minute you turn around, there's another one acting just like that one asked. Because the law of attraction is responding to your practiced vibration, you see. Negative emotion is not a bad thing. Negative emotion is guidance. Negative emotion is not a bad thing. Negative emotion is you understanding where you are in relationship to the way your inner being thinks about something. Negative emotion isn't a bad thing. Negative emotion is a really clarifying thing. When I really, 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 really have strong negative emotion, that means there's something I really, 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 really want. And on the other end of that really, really, really strong negative emotion is really, really, really happy emotion. But I can't stop my train that's going 100 miles an hour that way and all of a sudden go 100 miles an hour that way. But I can slow it down just enough.